Hey friends, let's put ourselves first today. February is such a special month for so many different reasons. But for me, one of the things that I really like to do is focus on self love and self care. And what I thought we could do today was maybe do a bit of a reading and just check in with ourselves and see where we are and what we could do to help us. Uh, Focus and engage on prioritizing ourselves. Because a lot of times, I don't know about other people, but I find that I expend a lot of energy loving on all of those people around me, but I don't think that I put nearly as much time into myself as I do into others. So, one of the things that I am working on this month is a tarot challenge, and I'll share it here with you. This is the February Tarot Challenge hosted by Mystic Star. And you can see it's a bit of a mess because this is, my working copy, and I take notes on here and obviously make sure that my pen is working and all those important things. But this is something that I have been doing, pulling a card and then reading on the card based on the question. So I found this challenge on Instagram, and we have the 14 questions here and then the rest on the back side. And then when I pull cards, I go into my journal and take notes. So for this challenge, I am using the Lovely Ohm. And this deck, I don't know. I chose it because I thought it would be good. But again, I'm seeing that I was guided by spirit towards this deck. It's amazing. It's incredible. It reads in a certain kind of way. I originally got this deck to help me learn and understand other cultures and other practices. And I used this deck, but I didn't really establish a bond or relationship with it because I didn't spend enough time with it. So, one of my goals was to use this deck in February, hopefully with a challenge in order to get to know it better. And so far, it is, exactly what I need for this time of year. It's just absolutely stunning. Look at that. Amazing. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside. This is the deck that I'm going to use today for our readings. And before jumping in, I just kind of made some notes. So this deck uses discs instead of coins or pentacles, and that is the body's wisdom. Cups is representing emotional flow. Wands represents your power. Swords, clarity, and then the majors connect to higher self. This deck is very much aligned with the chakras, which is awesome because we did some chakra work last month. I went ahead and I made some notes here, but I also, included some of my favorite affirmations from my sticker book, the ones that I feel like are most important to me. You are enough. You matter. Self care. Be kind to yourself. I love that. So I want that to be my focus for this month. Now, the majors, are connected to the crown, the third eye, and the throat chakra. And then the discs are connected to your root chakra, which makes perfect sense, right? Grounding, earth. Cups is connected with the sacral, wands with the solar plexus, and then the swords are connected to the heart. And I know a lot of times, in our tarot decks, we'll see the Three of Swords, for example. You'll see the heart with the three swords coming into it. And for the most part, creators tend to stick with the traditional representation or imagery. And a lot of people feel that it speaks more to emotion than it does to thought, and find it confusing, but it makes perfect sense if the swords is connected to the element of air and therefore to the heart chakra. So I love that. Just a few notes, and then I go in and I pull a card. I make my notes to myself. Sometimes I write down little affirmations, things I want to remember, and it's been a really neat process. The way that I have organized today's reading is based on the stones that I use in February for self love. Now, I gathered together this dish here, and you can see green is the color of the heart chakra. I do have a few green stones in here, but for the most part, I focus on the pink ones because I don't know, for some reason, energetically, I just don't connect to them as well as I do the pink ones, but I do have, green aventurine. That seems to be one of the most common. And this is also green aventurine in tumbled form. And then this is probably like one of my favorite green stones, Nikite. And I love it because it combines both the pink and the green together in one stone. But then all of the rest of my stones are pink. So I wanted to kind of talk about that. So today we're going to be looking at rose quartz. I have rose quartz here. This is in heart form, which I thought was perfect for today. And this stone represents love and gentleness, emotional healing, release of stress, and helping us unite with the divine. And then Rubellite. So I have it in a tower here. Rubellite, this is, some people call it red tourmaline, but this helps align the individual to the universal heart, right? So healing the heart and the emotions and helping us rekindle our passion for life. So I have it in the tower, but I also have it in tumbled form because I just think it's awesome. So I'll put that aside. And pink tourmaline. I mean, all the tourmalines are amazing. Tourmaline for me, I just really connect with the energy. This is pink tourmaline, and it's beautiful. I actually have two pieces, but the colors in this one are much more vibrant. This is also pink tourmaline, but you see the difference? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, pink tourmaline is the stone of love, emotional healing. It's just perfect for this kind of work. I have multiple forms of rhodochrosite. So let me show you this one. This is a sphere, and I just love this one. It's stunning. And I keep this in in my room, close to me, close to where I sleep. It's just amazing. Now this is also rhodochrosite, and you can really see the markings here. It's just so pretty in this little mini tower. I like to use this when I crystal grid. I may use these little mini towers as my center stone and then build my intention from there. So I have it that way. But I also have a piece of jewelry. So this would be like a cabochon. And you can see some of the markings over here. It's just really pretty. I love that stone, as you can see. I have many pieces of it. And then the other stone that I want to focus on for today is Rhodonite, which is similar in name to Rhodochrosite. Now, this is Rhodonite here. It's black and pink, and it's really stunning. And I have this palm stone, but I wanted to show you this because this is also the same thing. And the reason that I picked this one up was because it was so uniquely different in that it's mostly pink with just a little bit of black. Usually you don't see it this way. Most of the time it's gonna look like this one here. Um, and I do have this in tumbled form as well. You can see I have a few because again, I like to crystal grid, and I tend to use stones like this. So yeah, Rhodonite is awesome for discovering and developing hidden talents. It's great for compassion, for love, generosity, just all over altruism. And so, what I wanted to do was light a candle and set the intention for today's reading. Setting an intention for the messages that most need to surface for me to help me prioritize myself to handle my day to day with love, with compassion, with empathy, and with care. Let me set this right there. I think that will work. All right. First, we're going to start with our rose quartz. My affirmation for this stone is I invite love into my life and welcome the joy it brings. Now, the question that I want to ask is what aspects of my life need more love and gentleness? Temperance. Now, I want to be very sure to use the guidebook for this exercise because this deck provides such a unique point of view, and I want to make sure to include that in my message for today. So, with the card of temperance, and by the way, this deck is Thoth influenced, so you can see that the figure here, I mean, she has the cups and she's pouring from one to the other, and you can see the color shifting in the water. But she's sitting atop of a lotus flower and she is floating on the back of the alligator or crocodile. I forget which one it is. But it's a very beautiful card. And, usually this card speaks to balance or finding the sweet spot, the middle ground in a situation. And so, what I wanted to do was take a look at the guidebook. Now, it says, when you get this card, find that weightless middle point where there is perfect balance. And I love the way that they say that in this book, because when I read that, I know exactly what that means only from trying to balance things myself. And when I say that, I mean like physical objects. So because I know how difficult it is, I imagine that it's extremely difficult to do this with something that is not tangible, like emotions. Um, like self care, all of those things, right? So the card is asking us to avoid extremes, see the value in both body and spirit, and look for the blissful buzz when both are in flow with each other. Process your heavy experiences till you find lightness. So, this is an invitation, right? Asking us to find a way to balance out the body and the spirit. Because when there's a disconnect, we feel disjointed. And I feel like that's perfect for the question, what aspects of my life need more love and gentleness? Well, finding this sweet spot isn't always easy. It's hard work to do. And so I could certainly have more love for myself, more gentleness as I'm trying to do this work, because it's not always easy. So it's important to recognize that this work is not always easy, but it's critical. And so when I'm working towards this end goal, and certainly we all have good days and bad days, but when we're having those bad days, we need to incorporate a little bit of love for ourselves, because it's not always easy. It's actually a very difficult task. So I really love this card for this question. So I'm going to set that aside, put that right here. That was temperance. Let's move on to Rubellite. So I will put that right here. My affirmation for this stone is, my heart radiates love and harmony, connecting me to the universal flow. Isn't that beautiful? Because it's one thing to find our flow and do things in accordance with our flow, but it's so much more powerful to connect to the energy of the universe, into the energy of the collective, right? So much more powerful and so much more beneficial. So, my question for this stone is, how can I align my heart with the universal flow of love and passion? How can I align? How can I align? Four of Swords. That's lovely. I mean, you can see it's a beautiful representation. Clearly, this is speaking to rest, giving our physical body an opportunity to rest the mind, the monkey brain. And I love all of the different colors that are represented here, but I also love the background, right? The bed is floating, and this to me seems like the roots of a tree, which remind me of how important it is to ground ourselves, right? In order to help us kind of release some of that energy. So I'm going to set that there, Four of Swords. And how can I align my heart with the universal flow of love? So let's see what the guidebook says. When you get this card, it is time to rest and let go. Give your conscious mind a break and enter the energetic parts of your being. Things have built up, and you have to allow yourself time to process and integrate those experiences before you move forward. I mean, isn't that the truth, right? A lot of times we are experiencing these, how can I say, we are doing very heavy work, and that is very taxing on the mind, which it's like a domino effect. So eventually that takes a toll on the physical body. And we can't continue to do that day after day without giving it a rest. It would be like trying to do a Celtic cross every single day. Like it's too much. So this is asking us to take some time to give our minds and bodies an opportunity to integrate all of the things that we're learning. And I love that message. All right, I will set that aside. This tower is quite huge. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'm going to set the tower over here, and I will use the tumbled stone. There. That's better. Let's move on to pink tourmaline, and I'll put the stone right here. Now, my affirmation for this stone is love and healing flow through my heart, bringing peace and serenity. I just love that, because anytime you could invite some serenity into your life, it's just the best gift that you can give yourself. So that was love and healing flow through my heart, bringing peace and serenity. Now, the question that I would like to ask of this stone is, what areas of my emotional life need healing and attention? Ooh, Queen of Discs. Ooh, what a lovely card. Now, you know, this is Queen of Pentacles energy. It's like I don't know, my dream, my desire to be this awesome and amazing mother figure and head of household for my own home. And look at this card. I mean, it's just gorgeous. You can see the activation of the energy, the light pouring in. You can see the abundance surrounding her. And it's just an amazing draw for this. Queen of Discs. Okay, so let's see what our guidebook has to say. When you get this card, connect to nature. Look at her rhythm, her colors, and her beauty. Look at the food that you eat and its sustaining force. The Queen of Discs is inviting you to enter her consciousness and experience your part within her mystery. Now, isn't that intriguing? It's like stepping into that energy, stepping into the energy to see where you fit within that, you know, puzzle, within the big picture. And so what areas of my emotional life need healing and attention? I feel like this is an invitation to connect with Mother Earth. This is an invitation to ground, to step outside, to take in fresh air, to prioritize those little breaks throughout the day, to be mindful of what I'm putting into my body, maybe less of the garbage and the things that we tend to do because we're in a rush or because we're trying to save time, right? And we take these shortcuts that are really not good for us, right? This is an invitation to look at what we're putting into our systems and take better care. Take better care. I love that. Let's move on to rhodochrosite. And that's going to be the stone right here. It's just so beautiful. I can't get enough of this. I love this stone. All right, rhodochrosite. So, my affirmation for that stone is I release past wounds and embrace my journey towards emotional healing and self love. That is so good. Okay, we need to say that again. Okay, I release past wounds. Release. I release past wounds. I embrace my journey. Where's my journey taking me? Emotional healing and self love. I release past wounds and embrace my journey towards emotional healing and self love. And so, the question that I want to ask of this stone is what past wounds do I need to release in order to embrace self love and compassion? Ooh, that's interesting. That's the Sun card. That's very interesting. Now, this is a beautiful card. I mean, if I had to choose one, I would say this is probably one of the most positive cards in the deck. And you can see the glorious sun. You can see the rays of the sun are in every color of the rainbow. Now, remember, this deck is very much connected to the chakras. So, this to me is speaking to alignment of the different energies that we have and experience as humans. But then you can see the earth here, Mother Earth. And to me, when I look at this, I see two closed eyelids. It's almost like receiving of the energy. If you were to imagine this as a face, I would say this is the third eye. And all this energy is flowing into us and absorbing. So if we're asking ourselves, what do I need to release to embrace self-love and compassion? Let's take a look at the book. When you get this card, tap into your creativity. Feel your warmth and your power. Let your expression shine without filter, just like a clear blue sky. Feast your eyes on colors, soak in the sunlight, and enjoy your presence in the world. I mean, that is so, so good, right? Tap into your creativity. Sometimes it's difficult for me to see myself as a creative person, even though at the end of the day, everything that I do allows me to express my creativity because creating video content, journaling, editing videos, all of that is a way, working with Canva, all of those are ways for me to express myself creatively. So, why is it so difficult for me to see myself as an artist, as a creator? So, perhaps this is asking us what I need to release. Maybe it's those self limiting beliefs that hold me back from expressing who I am as a person and as an artist. And it says, right here, let your expression shine without filter. I can't tell you how many times I filter a thought or an inkling because I'm not sure how it's going to be received by other people. And I feel the most connected to my power when I ignore it and I express myself. And that's exactly what this is saying, connecting to your personal power. If you think that color yellow, that is, very much connected to our solar plexus. And that is the seat of our personal power. This is asking us to step into our power. Stop letting other people steal our power. That's what it's asking. That's what we need to do. Feast your eyes. Feast your eyes on colors, soak in the sunlight, and enjoy your presence in the world because guess what? We all have a presence. We all bring something to the table. We all have a unique viewpoint. And the world is a much better place because we are in it. So let's stop taking away from that and let's start thinking bigger. Let's start empowering ourselves. Oh my gosh, I just love this. Let's move on to the final stone. So this is going to be Rhodonite. And I'm going to pull this one right over here. Hopefully it'll still be in the frame. Now, my affirmation for Rhodonite. I embrace my unique gifts and I share them generously with the world. Isn't that what we were just talking about? My goodness. So, what question do we want to ask of this stone? Well, what hidden talents and abilities should I develop to benefit myself and others? Let's pull a card. Oh, you guys, Six of Wands. This card is so beautiful. Look at the figure in the center of the flower, soaking in the light of the sun. Isn't that what we were just asked to do? Soaking in the light of the sun in the center of the lotus that has risen from the depths, from the darkness, from the muck that we like to call everyday life. We have a light to shine. We can overcome the things, the darkness, the heavy feelings that we're facing in the current state of the world, right? I feel like this is such a big, strong message. And I'm going to invite all of you, although this is a reading that I'm doing on myself, if you find that any part of this resonates with you, please take the message with stride and maybe sit on it, reflect on it, meditate, journal, however you like to process these things. I invite you to do that. Now, what hidden talents and abilities should I develop? I mean, I can see where this is going, being a light to other people, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at what the book has to say because this is probably one of my most favorite guidebooks. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's incredible. When you get this card, okay, are you guys ready for this? I'm about to fall off my seat. When you get this card, choose love, choose God, and choose light. Now, before I move forward, I know that some people have certain feelings with the word God. I'm going to invite you to interpret that in the way that makes the most sense for you. So if it's not God, maybe it's Allah. Maybe it's the universe. Maybe it's the divine. maybe it's source. However you like to work with that energy, you can kind of swap out the word in the way that makes the most sense from you. Choose love, choose God, and choose light. The physical struggles of your journey are over. The physical struggles of your journey are over, making it possible for the spiritual part to begin. Be ready to be called by the divine will. Okay? I mean, this for me feels like a calling, right? A calling to stand up and to stop thinking so much on a small scale and to think bigger than just ourselves, my home, my circle, right? To think of the collective, to be a light to other people, to share light where there might be darkness. Because I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people that are hurting right now. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain. And some people are really having a tough time, because they are going through one thing after the other thing after the other thing, and they can't seem to catch a break. That's how it feels, right? Like I can't seem to catch a break. It's like I take a step forward and then I take 3 steps back. No, we can be a light for other people. And I couldn't love this message more. Oh, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with love. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for these beautiful messages that have come through today. And I'm so happy that we could share this together. This was a spread that I put together, just thinking about how I could bring that energy of self care and self love and self healing, compassion, like all those things that are so, so critical and that so many of us need right now in these times. So hopefully you found something in this message that helps you. Thank you so, so much for watching. Wishing you all of the best always. Thanks again. Bye.